All right, just pulled up. Been here about 15 minutes. Unloaded the truck. Got the kayaks. About to get on the water. Storm out that way. Moving north-northwest though, so we should be fine. Let's see how it goes. All right. Good morning. Bottoms Road. Nice sunrise. Looks like fish are working. All right, we're back here in the marsh. That blade up there makes a lot of disturbance in the water. 1/4 ounce jig head. I'd say basically a Fuji color. Chartreuse tail. Black top, white bottom. A lot of activity up here. There we go. There we go. Fish on. Looks like he's barely hooked. Come here. Oh, he's jumping. He's big. He is big. I hope this is all on camera. Oh yeah, nice trout. Ooh, I did get that recorded. Took that trout off. It measured at 19. Very next cast, caught another trout, small, 13.
With my dog, with my brother. We look just like with my brother.
Who is it?
Hey, we over here trying to. My man's caught him some fish. Let's take a look and see what we got in the treasure chest.
It ain't too much.
Okay.
3 speckled trout.
3 speckled trout.
There go 1.
Okay. About what length
2.
that would be, man? What would you say?
You know what? When I measure, okay. We got a little substance here.
Okay.
This bad boy right here, I think was about 19.5 inches.
Right.
Almost 20. I think this one here is about 18.
Man, that's a fish right there, man.
And I think this one's about 17.
You caught these yesterday, so they good and dead, right?
Oh, and y'all gonna see the videos, don't worry. I just gotta send them to my brother.
Alright.
He'll upload them on that UPLoudmusic, you know what I mean?
Music.
Yeah. Now look, if you really come from around the way, what you do is, you keep them in the cooler.
Right.
There's a little salt in there. That's salt water, and that's why that ice maintains its integrity overnight.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's overnight. So, it ain't cold. We in
Florida. When you pull them out the broken, rusted out cooler,
yes,
right,
sir.
You put it back on.
It's important to have that cooler like
that. The lid is the cut.
The lid is the cut. Oh, come on now.
Now, we're going to flatten this guy out because he's frozen stiff.
Okay.
And we want him to be flat when we fillet him.
Right.
But I want y'all to see how quick and easy a good fillet job can go. All right, bruh, your boy. It's your boy. You ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
So here we go. Right behind the gill plate.
First cut.
To the belly. I like to come from the rooter to the tutor.
Okay.
Cut that little sag over. Come down right on the backbone. With a trout, they got pretty easy ribs. Let that blade just follow it on down. You feel that backbone.
I see it.
But I stop there.
Okay.
The reason is, if I take this fillet off now, when I flip it over, it'll be dented in and it's hard to keep it even.
Okay.
So, I keep that on, come to the other side, same thing. Right up behind the grill plate. Come down, find that backbone. Get through them ribs. And it's important to stay in touch with that backbone without going through it. Now this one I can come all the way through.
There it is.
Alright, now look at that. 1 fillet.
That's 1 fillet right
now
there.
Now I come back off and finish this one. Little connective tissue there, boom. Now, here's the other part about it. It's real easy, man. Y'all hold this back part down. You get it started. Now, I like to move it close to the edge so I can get my blade flat.
Okay.
But it's not hard at all. Hold it down. Follow that skin. And this is why you want to have a flat surface. So you flip it over.
Wow.
See? Paper thin.
Look at that.
You want to make a belt, a speckled trout belt.
Look at that, guys. Look at that.
You want some? These ain't gators. This is trout shoes.
That's trout shoes.
You got a trout belt with the matching earrings.
That's hitting the streets
And
next fall.
A lot of people won't like this. I cut the belly meat out. This is the rib bones. The ribs go this way.
Okay.
Okay. But if you ever want to eat a fillet of fish with absolutely no bones in it, that's one right there. You could deep fry that. You can cut it into nuggets. You can make trout tacos. You can make a pasta dish with a wine sauce.
Wow.
Whatever you want to do. But that's a whole fillet right there. I mean, that's probably about 6 ounces at least. And this is the smaller trout. Now you can still deep fry that belly meat. I would wash that off and clean it up. And a lot of people like it because it is kind of sweet, but you got to fight around them bones. Me, I ain't fighting no bones. Same thing. I mean, you see it. If you dried that out in the air, it's no different than skinning a cow or a hide or whatever they call it. But that's the speckled sea trout in Florida. They call it Johnny Trout. It's the easiest fish to catch in salt water. It's in every single region in the state of Florida. You can go to Jacksonville, to the Everglades, to Daytona, to Fort Myers, to Tampa, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Panama City. That species of fish is everywhere in the state of Florida. And they go all the way up into the Carolinas, and they're all the way over in Texas too. When it comes to speckled trout, do not freeze this fish. Do not freeze it. This is one of the fish that once you clean it, you can refrigerate it for up to 2 days, maybe 3 if you're adventurous. Keep it in the fridge. But don't freeze it. If you freeze trout and then unthaw it, it's gonna lose its integrity. It's gonna be mushy. You don't want mushy fish. So just make sure that you never freeze the trout. Eat them after you clean them. Fresh fish, man. It's the way to go.
Tell me about this fish, man.
See how the mouth open up? This is how they eat. They're called mustard mouths or yellow mouths. You see, the bigger they get, the more yellow they get. In the state of Florida, at least up here in Tallahassee, Big Bend area, it's 5 trout per day per person. But that's what's called a bag limit, meaning how many you can keep in your bag, put in your bag. Now there's also what's called a slot limit. The slot determines the length. It has to be over a certain length and it can't be over a certain length. So the slot for trout in Florida is 15 inches at minimum. You can have 5 over 15. You can have 1 as big as you want it. 1 as big as you want it. Like maybe you catch a 27, 28 inch trout. Those are what's called gator trout. A lot of people misidentify gator trout. They think it's a 22 incher. In my humble opinion, 22 inch trout ain't no gator trout. For example, this is like a 17, maybe 18 inch trout. So not that big. But with that being said, what I wanted to show you is the concept of their mouth. When it's closed, it looks like this. You could tell that they're not just bottom feeders, they attack bait. You see how their mouths, their jaws protract like that and open up real big? And you see these 2 teeth here. It's not uncommon for trout to be missing one of them teeth because they break off when they're eating. The other thing I wanted to point out is you see the clarity of the eyes. This has been on ice overnight. Not quite 24 hours, but the eyes are clear. If you ever get fish that someone gives you and those eyes are a little blurry, smell it first of all. Look at those eyes. If it don't smell clean, if it smells funny, that's it. Forget about it. The other thing is if you're gonna catch and release trout on the water, they have a real thick slime coat. It's slimy on these. You can't. There you go. See that slime dripping right? Oh, it just dripped off. They're slimy fish, but that's how they stay alive. It's a protective feature. So if you're not gonna keep them, you're supposed to wet your hands before you ever grab the fish out the water. Take the hook out his mouth and release him. If your hands are wet, it won't take that slime coat off. If your hands are dry, you'll find your hand, your net, whatever you're using, fish grips full of slime. And that fish may swim off and you think that fish is fine, but that fish may die 3 days later. So we're gonna fillet these up like we did the last ones. ain't nothing to it, y'all. I used to be intimidated by this. Anyone that watches this, if you think, oh, it's one thing to cut the fish up, you know, to take the fillet off the backbone, but taking the skin off the meat, a lot of people in the South, for example, will get a spoon or a descaler, and they'll come back, and I'll show you with this knife, you can descale the fish. See how them scales are popping up? Because people don't want to fillet it. So what they do is they take the scales off, because they're gonna deep fry the whole thing, and they don't want scales, which makes sense. But if you don't want to worry about any of that, and you could take the fillet off of the skin itself. That's why I used to scale fish. Then I graduated. And all you gotta do is get you a knife, and it don't have to be an electric knife. That's a funny little piece. This is something else that you see in trout. You don't see this in other fish. Look at this. It's almost like taffy.
What is it?
I don't know what it is. Probably have to look it up. Hey, y'all leave it in the comments if you know. Leave it in the comments. It's like taffy. I don't know if it's part of a stomach lining or a... It's in all trout though. It's in all speckled trout. It's not uncommon, and it's very tough. It's resilient. It's hard to get the knife through it, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know what it is or what purpose it serves, but don't be scared to fillet fish and take the skin off of the meat. It's not that hard. That's an electric knife, which looks intimidating. That's even easier than I thought. I didn't use that for 2 years. I got that as a Father's Day gift and never used it.
What kind of knife is that, just in case the people want to get one?
This is a Rapala. A Rapala. This is like 30 bucks, man. Like it's super cheap. We're gonna go to the third and final fish of the day. That one has a little bit more size to it. I'm happy with that one. You see, we ain't even got much blood on here, do we, bro?
Not at all.
Not at all. And we've already cleaned 2 fish.
Uh-oh, that one's still trying to get away.
Taking his last breath. Remember, I never take it all the way off on one side. I always leave that first side on. Because right now, if that side was off, this fish would be laying down here. And it'd be hard for me to get, you'll cut through your backbone a lot of times if you don't have that balance. You want to keep that other fillet on because it keeps the fish up. And it gives you a better angle. Yeah, that one right there, you see I left the meat on the bone. I should have did a demonstration on the earlier fish. That one, see all that meat? I could come here and still cut meat off. That's what you don't want to have happen. But I guess, hey, it's a teaching moment. Okay. Like I said, you want to make some shoes? Do it. Tell it was a bigger fish. You see how far back the belly went? It went way back there. So, here's what I'll do. This is the product. That's good. 3 fish, 6 fillets. A lot of people can eat on that. So we just rinsing it off. That's all it takes. I got a cleaning table in my garage, but I got 1,000 different fishing lures and line and everything on it. So
You just
unless I catch a bunch of fish, I just clean them on my cooler like this.
Yo, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, giving us an introduction on how to fillet these fish.
That's what it is, brother.
That's your boy. Your boy too.
Beef jerky time.
Aye. Peace. Together, not separate. I'll holler at y'all.